Alright everybody, welcome to the Arena Maxima semifinals between your man and Measureaholic versus Nothing. That's right, that's his actual name, Nothing. Way out there in the distance, I am playing as the Ottomans in this first battle in our best of 3 series. He is playing as the Kingdom of England. This is my first ever semi-final in the tournament, everybody. So I hope you're excited to see how well I do. I was beyond nervous. Nothing has done extremely well in our last Arena Maxima tournament as well, and he's just well known for doing very, very nice plays. So my expectations for this were pretty low going in, but I'm just going to give it up my all and try to represent these awesome Eastern factions is what I'm trying to do for almost every battle in this tournament. Anyway, this will be the semi-finals series, everybody. I'm not going to include timestamps just so you don't have spoilers. Again, please leave feedback down in the comments if you prefer to just have them. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the battle. We'll check out the army compositions and then we'll get started. Alright everyone, let's check out my army first, the Ottoman Sultanate. I am doing a fairly similar composition to what you've seen me be doing in the recent sort of battles. I have 2 gunners, one on my left, one on the far right hand side, although these are Ottoman gunners. I'm pretty low on armor and whatnot, so need to be wary of them getting stuck in melee. I then have 6 sort of mid-tier swordsmen. The sort of main issue with them is that their armor just isn't as good as what their European counterparts may have. However, they do have 120 men per cohort, and their armor is still decent at 55. You know, it's not amazing, but for Eastern factions, these guys should be pretty solid. I then have a just simple core of spearmen, 4 spears in total. They're all the same one, I believe. Actually, no. I have 4 spearmen that are the same here. These are my more so medium tier spearmen. Then on the right hand flank, I actually just have a low tier levy mercenary Armenian spearman. Essentially a levy. It's pretty low tier. I just had a bit of extra money and wanted to make sure I had my 20 units. Behind them, I then have 2 sections of axemen, 2-handed axemen. This is the Yensieri Balta-Caler. Basically, heavy axemen. Very, very heavy. Very excellent. Deadly stuff. However, only 105 men per cohort. Have my General's Bodyguard, which is again a horse archer / shock cav unit, whereas pretty much all the Eastern faction generals are. And then I have 3 Balkan noble units, pretty similar to my Seljuk army setup. However, this time we have no pole arms. Anyway, let's go ahead and check out what Nothing has. Representing again the Kingdom of England. Start on his left hand flank and see what he's got going. He has a low tier levy spear unit right here, helping out his gunners. These gunners are actually quite heavily armored, considering they're a gunner at 55, not bad at all. He then, though, has some insane cavalry. English knights, they're incredible, and all of his cavalry is an English knight, the late variant as well. He has 3 units that I've just circled for you, and then he has Edward the Black Prince. Where is he? Should be right there, technically. Looking pretty epic. Anyway, the rest of his army is a mixture of swords and axemen and some polearms in the center. So, sergeants right here in conjunction with some more. And then he has these English foot knights axemen unit. Absolutely terrifying. Far better than my axemen. Armor of 90. It's basically a cataphract on steroids. He has another sergeant's late sword variant. 1 single spearman militia right here. More sergeants late right there. English foot knights right here. And then another sergeant late right there. On the right, same as his left. Spearman and a gunner. Very nice mobile army for his part. The only thing that isn't mobile is his polearms, but they don't really need to be. That's more than enough to hold his center. At least it probably will be. Let's go ahead and jump ahead to when we actually see the fighting begin. See you there. Okay, everybody, here we go. The armies are getting close to one another, about to have first blood spilt. At least it looks like it. On the left-hand flank, his gunners are forward. And on my right, his gunners are forward as well. Boom. Ends up targeting my swordsman. Just looking to get some free kills on him. Pushes back a bunch of them. It's kind of insane. They get just a couple kills. I'm not too worried about that. I'm going to start focusing fire on his gunners as I move my cavalry up. I'm going to be pretty aggressive on my left-hand side. Again, looking to screen my cavalry and gunners as I have been in the previous few battles. My center is looking really weak, though. It's just a bunch of mid-tier spearmen, along with a low tier on the right. This is going to collapse pretty quick if I'm not careful. My swordsmen, again on my right-hand side, trying to screen my cavalry as I push them forward. Again, looking to get a little bit aggressive. Gunners are coming out, and they will try to target his knights, because I know they are terrifying. Here we go. He ends up pulling back his gunners. I'm going to charge directly into his spearmen. Not the best micro on my part. I don't even get to charge his spearmen. He just intercepts by pulling them back. Left-hand flank. Again, I'm getting aggressive, charging directly into his spears. They're already wavering somehow. But I'm basically trying to bog down his gunners. Feeling relatively good by being aggressive, and my gunners are sort of screening my cavalry. However, Nothing does something very, very different. He just pulls his cavalry back. He doesn't have to let them get beat down by my gunners, so why would he? So he's just going to pull back, let his center do the talking. His center is far better than mine. He's going to push forward here. My left-hand flank is starting to push forward towards him. However, again, just keeping his cavalry back. I haven't been aggressive enough with my gunners or my cavalry. So his infantry is simply just going to eat up mine alive. Here comes his axemen, backed up by gunners who are shooting point blank. And now look at this movement from his cavalry. Again, his left-hand cav just purely playing defensively. But now he sees the gaps forming, and he's going to be coming in for them. I did notice that there was a gap. However, I was just far too slow in trying to handle it. Gets a nice, very mobile charge with some heavy cavalry. Far out. Never seen heavy cav turn like that. Instantly go to rout that spear unit. See you later, mate. I have routed a couple of his units over here, but it's just malicious stuff. Meanwhile, his axemen have come in, routed my sword unit as well. His swords are now counter-attacking pretty much all across that right-hand side. The center, he has made a hole already, charged in through his axemen. I'm trying to get more aggressive with my cav and gunners, but it's just nowhere near good enough. I need to be either doing more or doing more to support my center, and it's just not happening, unfortunately. I do try to pull my gunners forward as my cavalry goes back, because again, he's defending with his own gunners, but he sees this opportunity of my left hand and center being weak, and is going to use his cavalry appropriately to help him out. I try to respond in kind by getting a nice little charge on the side of his swordsman right here. I know his gunners are right here. Not too worried about them at this point. I'm really worried about his infantry, actually, because they're just chomping through my army. We go ahead and get the charge in. We're going to get some nice kills, but now his general's going to counter-charge me. That's a little bit of bait, though, because I want my gunners to get some free shots. Here comes the shots now. But they're shooting way too slow. Not even a full volley by the time his general's able to charge in. I was hoping I'd be able to use my cav to stop, but it was way too late. Those gunners get annihilated. See you later. And now his cavalry is swooping in. My left-hand side is getting hammered. My center right here with these spears is about to collapse. I have made some gains on the right over here. Again, routing a few of these men. My gunners have even got involved. But my cavalry is just sitting here being useless. And because he did such a very quick, solid counterattack, and all of these units ended up routing at a similar time, we have a massive wave of routes on my troops. Not only that, but he takes full advantage of it. Pushes his cavalry forward. Pretty much across the board. I try to plug the holes, do some band-aid maneuvers, do a desperate charge in with my general. But it's far too late. Doesn't matter. And look at that. Bad micromanagement by me. Letting my general get charged. It's not a very good charge, but it's good enough. Not good for me overall. The center is about to collapse. I do have some infantry on the right-hand side, but they're way over here. The action is all over here right now. Again, not looking good. My axemen end up routing. I've only 85 kills. Nowhere near good enough. I do finally rout one of his knights, but he countercharges with his other knight. And his cavalry is just insane. It's so strong. The eastern factions just really struggle pound for pound against the Cav. Like, we'll last a while, but he's going to win. Just like here with his general. I do charge my swordsman in to try and help out my cavalry. Maybe if I can snipe his general, we can bring this back. But again, so far, it's not looking amazing. My axeman right here just routed, unfortunately. This axeman came back, but it doesn't matter. He's about to shatter them. I'm really trying to rush my infantry back over here to this left. My gunners are also trying to get involved. From the right-hand flank, they have done quite well for me. Look at this. Can they get the volley? Come on, get it, boys. Oh, never mind. They changed their mind last second. Still, though, he has 3 sets of cavalry on the battlefield that are all grinding away against my general. And his infantry are just swarming my general. He knows all he has to do is kill my general. I only have to kill his and then kill his infantry. He just has to kill my general and that's it. My general starts routing. Cavalry alongside it are going to rout as well. Not amazing. Yeah. As you can see, this is not looking good for me at all. He then does some counter charges to stop my infantry from coming to support. And while my general might come back from routing, doesn't matter. Not really at this point. He's routed too many of my men. He's killed pretty much all my cavalry. My gunners are still here. That's pretty much the only saving grace I have. Might hear me in the background of my video, everybody. Sorry about that. Anyway. There goes my general. He was killed. That's it. It's over. The infantry, as soon as they get word our general's gone, that's it. Very excellent maneuvering by Nothing. I think I actually did quite well starting off. I just didn't react to his reaction of my initial reaction. In that I pushed my gunners, but I didn't push enough. And he just held his cavalry back, and I didn't basically read that well enough. At least not fast enough.
This is a shameful display.
That, I also, honestly, just didn't really know how to react to it. I'm like, oh, wow, he's actually just not going to let me shoot his cav. What is this? That's kind of just, you know, fairly simple, but quite intelligent. So, Nothing. Very slick, excellent micromanagement. Very good overall. Just a fantastic player, and he beats me at least in this first battle. However, this is a best of 3 tournament, so let's see if I can bring it back in battle 2. Let's very quickly just look at the statistics to really see the differences here. Okay, just breaking this down briefly, you can see that my cavalry just did not last against his own. His cav didn't even get all that amazing kills. However, his general, 229 kills, really stole the show. Edward the Black Prince is a fantastic general to have. And then across all of his axemen and swordsmen, he did pretty excellent. Getting triple digits on half of his swords is fantastic. The other swords weren't far behind. His gunners did quite good. As I said, general did amazing. Cavalry did good. For me, I had a similar sort of story, but it just wasn't as good. So all of my swords got good kills, but not great kills like his. My cavalry, good kills, but not great. My general is okay. But my axemen, they really got chomped up. They got countercharged. And then my spearmen just almost really didn't fulfill their purpose, which is just to hold the line for as long as I needed them to. They just couldn't. So unfortunately for me, I lose battle 1. Absolutely massive mad props to Nothing. However, let's see if I can bring this back in the second battle in this best of 3 series, everyone. I'll see you there. Okay, everybody, here we are in battle 2 of this best of 3 series. I am playing as the Gurid Sultanate. Meanwhile, Nothing, my opponent, is playing as the Empire of Epirus. That's right, again, I'm sticking with the Far Eastern theme. He's sticking with the Western Europeans. Now, as you can see, I have done something a little bit cheeky in this battle, everybody. One of the rules that we have in this tournament is that you can bring elephants, and if you so wish, you can bring an elephant that actually has a cannon mounted on it. A little bit ridiculous, however, it can be quite powerful. So not only is this, you know, sort of just kind of bit of a fun thing to do, not only that, but you saw me use elephants earlier on in the first round, I believe I did. Here, I'm just sort of wanting to see how well I can do with these. So I don't want to say it's a novelty or anything necessarily, but it's a bit of an experiment. And in my opinion, it actually can definitely sway the course of battle because look at this. Look how far out the range is on these cannons. All the way along my blue line. So, means that his cavalry, the unit that I know is going to be tough for me to beat, is going to be very scared of my elephants. That, and I mean, hopefully he wasn't even prepared for it. This is the only faction that has this. So I was just hoping that I could get away with him being caught completely off guard. We'll see if that pans out. Let's go ahead and check out the rest of my army. We'll check out his. So the rest of my army is not going to be very good. The Gurids don't have amazing infantry. At least not when you spend so much money on cannon elephants. So my front line is just a entire line of mid-tier Afghan spearmen. 105 men per unit, not amazing. And then I have Afghan infantry for my swords. 6 in total. These ones are going to be the late variant, so stats are not bad, but again, only 105 men per cohort. So it's a little concerning. My infantry are definitely not going to get me kills, not all that many. Again, though, I have brought 2 gunners, just you can't go wrong with it. It's just so useful. I then have my general, who this time is a shock cavalry unit. I don't believe it's a skirmisher this time, am I right? Correct. This is just a shock cavalry unit this time. Then in the back here, we have 2 sets of Rajput cavalry. These guys, relatively decent at 75 armor, but again, nowhere near as good as the Europeans. So we'll see if they can still hold out though. And then I have 1 single set of Muratab's late variant shock/horse archer. It's the hybrid type of cavalry, so we'll see how well they do. But again, I'm pretty tight for money at this point, so we'll see what happens. Let's check out the Empire of Epirus. I honestly don't know what to expect from them. Empire of Epirus is going to be sort of similar to the Byzantines, so let's have a look. Light spearmen on his right, along with some gunners on the right-hand side. And then as we zoom way over to the left, same story. So he's reflecting basically what he did in the first battle. However, this time he's bringing a polearm on the front right, and then on the front left and on the front right. He is again using nothing but swords and axemen. However, one sort of major change in his army is that he's brought skirmishers. In fact, he's brought 2 of them. So I'm assuming he's done this to counteract my elephants, which he probably is more than well aware enough that I've probably brought with me, which I have. So that is a nice counter. Not only that, but I believe he had... Where is it? Never mind. I thought he had an infantry unit that had a javelin, but never mind. I don't see that he does. He doesn't have any spearmen besides those militia units, though, so that's going to be interesting. They don't have the javelin either, no. But what swordsman is he using? Well, he's bringing in 2 sets of mid-tier swords, along with another one there, and then another one there, and then another one there. And then, yeah, 6 mid-tier swords of the Megalogalitai swordsman. Now that pronunciation. He then has his general right here, which is an insanely heavy shock cavalry unit. 90 armor. Look at that. Oh my gosh. The hell is that on his head? Looks like a bloody hectic chalice. Anyway, he then has some nice heavy shock cavalry. However, 2 of them only have 55 armor, and this one over here has 80. So while half of his cav is better than mine, the other half isn't necessarily. At least not straight up, like typical Europeans. Let's go ahead and press play. And even though I do have cannons, we are going to fast forward until we see some combat. Okay, everyone, we're not necessarily seeing combat, but I want to point out our army compositions. First off, I'm doing quite a substantially short formation. That's intentional. I'm trying to go with a lot of depth. However, he does an amazing counter to my elephants. He pushes forward his gunners and skirmishers with spear and polearm support in these sort of little battle groups ahead of his main army. So he has this massive radius all the way along this arrow of skirmishers that can really mess up my elephants. Just such an intelligent way to screen his army. And again, it really shows Nothing's like ingenuity and flexibility on the fly. A lot of people would kind of just like crap their pants saying, oh my gosh, Measureholic brought elephants. Ooh, speaking of which, woohoo! There's the first volley. Targeting his axemen, because axemen are always going to be scary to deal with. Relatively accurate, but we'll see how long that lasts. But not only that, but look at this. Again, just flat out denying me my advantage. I was really hoping to use my elephants to target his cavalry. Instead, what's he doing? He's spreading out his army in a nice big formation and is just charging forward. So how do I react to this up? To be honest, I'm not entirely sure how I should have reacted. But for me, I'm going to try and swing my cavalry around the left-hand side towards his cav. Try and goad him into having a bit of a fight with me. But I'm not going to break up my army. That's one thing I can't really do. My army isn't as good as his. His men can pick me apart quite easily. So I'm going to push forward at a bit of a diagonal angle. Diagonal angle? Here. That's the word. As I try to, again, goad him into charging forward with his cavalry, he's baiting me a little bit quite nicely, having his cav way out there on their own. I'm thinking, oh, crikey, okay, here we go. You can see the attack order comes in from my elephants as well. Let's see if they get the hit in. Come on, elephants, do your thing. Here they come. And they miss. And we got one guy. What a bad volley. So something I get throughout this battle is some very unlucky volleys, unfortunately. Meanwhile, his front line smashes into my Afghan spearmen. Again, his infantry are just far better than mine. This means that I instantly am under a very strict timer. My men, do they even have shield wall? They do. They do have spear wall, and they are in it. It just doesn't look like it because there's only a couple of them. So while he's baited me to push out this way, he's now simply just going to wrap his cavalry around his army while his infantry have outflanked my right-hand side. Again, such an intelligent play. Really, really nice. I'm not sure how his swordsmen are wavering again. I guess because of the attack in the flank. Kind of crazy, but anyway, in the meantime, what else is crazy? His axemen just breathes on my spearmen. They all die straight away. My elephants are, again, just sort of trying to snipe his general. Really looking to kill him, and then the cavalry with the elephants, but
The men are broken and running for their
overall,
lives.
the cannons just aren't doing any damage fast enough. And my infantry is just melting away. Like, you can see, they've lost 4 men and they're wavering. So that's what I'm dealing with my infantry army. It's honestly just really terrible. My cavalry has rotated around a little bit to try and help plug the holes in this infantry maneuver he is pushing against me. Cavalry also countercharging against his axemen, but his axemen just take it like champs, keep pushing through. Speaking of which, here comes his cavalry. It's looking like he's going to be screening them with his swords to try to push through. Elephants get off another volley this time. They have 21 kills, but like, again, more of my volleys just completely missing. They just landed over here when the cavalry was over here, so just more bad luck, really. My elephants should be doing better, but they just keep missing over and over and over. I have used them before in online play, and I gotta say, this is the worst I've seen them with their aim. But, oh well, it is what it is. I sent out a cavalry unit just to kind of sacrifice it a little bit. I'm trying to tie up his cavalry in a melee engagement. I know they're going to lose. I'm okay with that. But his infantry are just flooding my right-hand flank. Such a smart maneuver by him. I'm trying to push back my elephants because his skirmishers are right here. I'm really trying to plug the gap. I'm going to try to charge my cav. He's just ran into my general. But he's ignoring my general. He's more focused on my elephants. He knows that they can be a threat. Again, charge in more of my cav to try and tie up all of his cavalry. Now my elephants in general are going to circle around. It's time for the big showdown on the right. Meanwhile, on the left-hand flank, I've actually started to make some progress. We do finally end up killing his axemen. At least we're surrounding them. We'll kill them shortly. There they go. His gunners also got held up. And actually, we're wrapping around his left-hand flank. But look at this on the right.
Our men have given up and are running for
My
their
elephants are
lives.
trying to fire into this mix. They still early at 32 kills. And we've done a bunch of volleys. So it's not that they're not firing, it's just they're not doing anything when they do fire, unfortunately. So now it's time to come and get them involved. These swordsmen are just trying to like chase them down. As unfortunate as it is, I probably should have just charged them at this point. Pull back my general and then charge in my elephants. Here they go. Let's see if they can get the job done, everyone. They do get a nice counter charge. Point blank shooting the cannons. But his cavalry now charges in. His swordsmen are swarming. This is exactly what you don't want to have happen to elephants. Basically, he's bogging them down. Point blank firing at the cannons. Doesn't matter. They're not really getting much done. My general tries to help out. But this is very similar to sort of the last battle where my general and his supporting units get isolated. Meanwhile, my infantry, while they did okay, they're way out here, literally across the map. So he's just done such an excellent way of manipulating the battlefield to draw me out, draw out my specialized units, my elephants, my cavalry. They're surrounded. It's not looking good. Basically, I'm hoping my elephants can do a divided Tempera style charge with their elephants. Because in DEI, they're far more effective. However, here, I charge in and it does nothing. His cavalry is still fine. They start to waver a little bit, but I mean, he's just swarming my elephants, charging his cavalry into it. They're all completely fine with charging it against elephants somehow. And then, yeah. We have got up to 100 kills with my elephants by now, but half of my army has already routed. He also has gunners, skirmishers targeting my elephants. I haven't even routed a single unit of his cavalry. Meanwhile, my cavalry is all gone. My elephants are about to rout. My general is now like routing back and forth. Trying desperately to pull him back, but then for whatever reason, my general was just like, nah, we'll just sit here. And he dies.
Our general has died.
General is dead. Not a good sign yet again. My elephants is like 2 of them left. They're taking some javelins, bouncing off for now, but there we go. They end up then running out of control, so they'll stampede towards his men a little bit, but it doesn't matter. He ends up killing it anyway. Elephants are gone with around 100 kills under the belt. Nowhere near good enough. I do have this little horde of infantry, but again, it's all crap infantry. It's just a bunch of Afghan low-tier levies. Spears and swords against gunners, heavy cavalry, pole arms, his good swords. This is essentially all she wrote. I'm not gonna lie. I try to form up one last little line of defense. I could just sit here and try and go into shield wall, but I know it's over. He has gunners, skirmishers. I may as well just go ahead and YOLO in. But there's no way to get around this now. All he has to do is skirmish my men to death or do what he's about to do, which is charge. He knows he has this in the bag. Heavy European cavalry charges on in. Try to do some attack orders on his general, but doesn't matter. Ladies and gentlemen, ya boy, Emergaholic is defeated. Nothing beats me in a 2-0 decisive victory. Valiant defeat, I don't think it was all that valiant, to be honest. Nothing, just absolutely dissected, destroyed me. 2-0, very much well-deserved. I wish him nothing but good things in the grand final. Speaking of which, everybody, that video is going to be coming up with the grand final for our second Arena Maxima tournament. However, here are the stats if you'd like to take a look at them. You can see that he actually ended up having a couple hundred more men than me. It's mainly because my elephants, I couldn't bring 20 units to the field. Instead, I had 19. But yeah, you all saw the battle. You all saw just how well his units were doing. Some of my swords got some nice outflanking charges against his. So those couple units that did, they actually got a few kills, triple digits. But I mean, it doesn't matter when your cavalry do almost nothing. Your special elephants that should have won me the battle. At least not should have, but that was my plan, to have them try and win the battle. They were just nowhere near effective enough. So while this was a fun strategy, I'm really glad I tried it. Yeah, nothing was just way too good to let this hamper him. So off he goes to the grand final. I am kicked out of the tournament in the semifinals, but I'm still happy I made it this far. this sets the bar for the next tournament that I try to participate in. Anybody, everybody, I really hope you all enjoyed. I'll make sure to upload the grand final very, very soon. In the meantime, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I shall see you in the next one.